I don't want to get too much into your personal stuff, whatever you're willing to
Sure.
share, but obviously like you were in college and everything. And did you try to have relationships? Were you in relationships? Did you date at all? I mean, or even before when you started feeling a lot of like the kind of emotional disconnect, were you still interested in someone, or like did you have those feelings at all, or did you just kind of like, I don't want to say give up, or were you so preoccupied with like your feelings that you just didn't even think about that?
So it kind of like different stages with things. Like I know, like
Mm-hmm.
after Zoloft, I was so distressed. Like the idea of even trying that, like no, that wasn't even in my mind to
Mm-hmm.
try to like be sexual with anybody. I think when I was on Cymbalta, maybe after a while, like I just had no sex drive, and like when I stopped it, I think I did have some libido for a while, but it was just like I just can't perform sexually, and it just felt, embarrassing. So I was like I did go on dates and I tried, but it's hard to connect with people if you don't feel anything. You know what I mean? Like
Of course,
you could
yeah.
you could you could try to have like an in-depth conversation with somebody, but if you can't like read the signals or anything with what you're talking about, like it's hard to, get to that
Mm-hmm.
point with anybody. So like I've gone on dates, like I've tried, but it's so dissatisfying and like embarrassing. Like it just feels like a waste of time, like to even try, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. It's just yeah. Like maybe one day, like, but
Mm-hmm.
right now it's just too much, you know, to try, to be honest. But
And how about like your buddies who were noticing that you were changing before? I mean, do you keep in contact with them and you tell them about everything that you're going through and that you're in the
um
PSSD network and stuff? Or
no, not really. Like I told one of my friends about it before. Like I went into depth with him about it and
mm-hmm.
he kind of understood. He believed me, but it's just unless you're living it, it's hard to imagine what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
You can describe it to somebody, but they're never gonna fully understand. And that took me a while to realize. It's like I would sit, like I've told my parents like about it, and like yeah, I've told like some friends, but it's like I could sit there and tell them all day about like what I live with, but it's like they're not gonna understand. Like, as much as I
Mm-hmm.
want them to. And that took me a long time to realize. I was like it's too, I think it's just too hard. It's beyond some people's comprehension.
If you can kind of go back and like look at that first meeting that you had with the doctor, you were first prescribed Lexapro, what would you do differently, or what would you say to your 19-year-old self?
I would tell them that not every, emotion is something that is a bad thing. Like it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to like not know where you're going in life. Like a drug
Mm-hmm.
isn't gonna fix anything. Like just because a doctor says you should take something doesn't mean you necessarily should. Especially if they don't do any like vitamin tests or like see if you're physically active or take your hormonal levels or anything like that. Like I just, it's part of like becoming more mature and realizing things. It's like that doctor just didn't do a very good job, or a lot of these doctors, like just not telling me any side effects or anything like that. And I just
Yeah,
wish, you
really.
know, if I would have had full informed consent about all these side effects, like I never would have touched it.
And thinking about like when it first started, like I know you were, around 19 years old when you had that panic attack. Like that was like what 20? That was like a kind of like late COVID, or I guess like maybe the height of
Uh-huh.
COVID. How
Yeah.
did that kind of affect things?
It definitely made me more isolated, like during COVID and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like I was more alone. And then when you're more alone, you have more time to think about things. And it's like then just the spinning of thoughts and stuff and like just like
Mm-hmm.
being alone for a lot of time kind of made me like super just like anxious. And I think that all like played into everything. And like I didn't really get high school graduation or anything like that. And so I never really got to say goodbye to people and then just like the lack of connection and like I don't know, it was just really hard like to connect with people after that. Like things changed, or at least for a while. Like things are better now, but just for a while there, like during that time, it was really hard to like just find the connections I needed, the support that I needed, and yeah. So
And even though I know you said before that you might look at someone and you know that you love them and you care about them, but it's like really hard for you to feel that connection. I mean, that being said, do you still feel like you have a pretty good emotional support group right now? Now that there's been time and people kind of know more about the condition. I mean,
yeah, yes and no. Like a lot of my family knows about it now, like my siblings and like my mom and stepdad know about it. My other side of the family doesn't. I don't talk to them about it 'cause they wouldn't really care.
Mm,
But the other half of my family, like I talk to them about it, and they care. But it's just like I don't know. It's just where they don't understand it all the way. It's hard to help somebody with it, you know. So I could call them like what's going on, but it's like even if they were there with me 24/7 and like trying to support me, it's like I'd still feel the same way. It's just like
mm,
just I don't know. It is nice to have somebody there and to vent, you know, but it's just, you know, it's hard. So,
yeah. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, and if there are people watching right now who have PSSD or who might be experiencing things, that are very similar to PSSD, what would you want them to know?
there's a lot of people out there that are experiencing the exact same thing, you know, and that you can find support and connection, you know, with a lot of people and that they're not alone. Like, there's a lot of us out there, and it's good to talk about it and talk to each other about it. That's why I recommend like support groups and like meeting with people and just trying to spread awareness so that nobody else, you know, has to go through like what we're going through right now, you know.